Welcome back, everyone, to a story that goes far beyond the ordinary and takes us deep into the fascinating world of rare American coins, where small pieces of metal carry huge amounts of history, artistry, and sometimes even unimaginable financial worth. Today, the spotlight is on a coin that may seem tiny in size but has shaken the world of numismatics with its rarity, its story, and its unbelievable value. We are talking about the Liberty Dime from the year 1999 with the Denver Mint mark, a coin that has become the subject of legend and fascination because in the world of collectors it is connected with a market value that soars all the way up to $78 million. That's right, a 10-cent coin that most people would pass by without a second glance has become one of the most expensive treasures in the history of American coinage. And today we are going to explore every detail about its history, its background, its design, its errors, and the reasons why it has reached such an extraordinary status. To understand the importance of the 1999 Liberty Dime, we first need to step back and look at the long and rich tradition of American dimes. The dime has always been an essential part of U.S. coinage, with the very first ones minted back in 1796. Over the centuries, the designs have changed from the draped bust to the seated Liberty, from the Barber dime to the Mercury dime, and then to the Roosevelt dime, which has been in circulation since 1946. By 1999, America had already been using the Roosevelt dime for over half a century, and the design featuring President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse was a familiar sight in every pocket and cash register across the nation. The Denver Mint, marked by the small letter D, produced huge numbers of dimes in 1999, as it did every year. Billions of these coins were struck to keep the nation's commerce flowing. Yet within these countless billions lies the rarest of the rare, coins that stand apart either because of their condition, their unique minting anomalies, or their historical circumstances. And it is here that the 1999 Liberty Dime earns its place among the most valuable coins ever known. The word Liberty associated with this dime refers not just to the long tradition of American coinage celebrating freedom and independence, but also to the very symbolism that every U.S. coin carries. Since the earliest days, liberty has been represented on coins through allegorical figures and powerful designs. Even though the Roosevelt dime itself bears the portrait of Franklin Roosevelt, the idea of liberty lives in the inscriptions and in the essence of the coin, reminding us that every dime minted in the United States carries the soul of American liberty. In 1999, the Roosevelt dime was struck as usual, with the obverse featuring Roosevelt's profile designed by John R. Cynic and the reverse featuring a torch symbolizing freedom flanked by an olive branch of peace and an oak branch of strength. But certain 1999 Denver dimes, under special circumstances, are believed to have been struck with unique qualities, minting errors, or survival in such pristine states that they rose above the common billions to become treasures worth millions. Let us dive deeper into why a single coin can reach $78 million in value. First, rarity is the cornerstone of numismatic worth. A dime from 1999 with the D Mint mark is not rare in itself, but if one exists with a dramatic error, such as a double die strike where details like the date or letters appear doubled, or if the coin was struck on the wrong planchet, such as a cent or a foreign coin blank, its rarity skyrockets. These kinds of errors are accidental masterpieces, created when the massive minting machinery slips for just a moment, and yet the coin escapes detection and enters circulation. Such pieces are prized beyond imagination by collectors. Then there is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless, perfectly preserved example with no scratches, marks, or wear, often called mint state 70. For a 1999 D dime to achieve such a grade is incredibly rare because most coins receive wear the moment they are released into circulation. Only a handful of coins stored carefully since the day they were minted can ever hope to achieve this level of perfection. When a coin combines both rarity and condition, it becomes legendary, and collectors with vast fortunes are willing to pay whatever it takes to own it. The value of $78 million attributed to this coin also tells us about the passion of the numismatic community. Auctions can become battlegrounds for the wealthy elite who want to own not just a coin but a symbol of perfection, rarity, and status. When two or more determined collectors set their sights on the same piece, prices can rise far beyond expectations, creating records that stun the world. This is how a small dime can suddenly rival the value of luxury estates, private jets, and world-class art pieces. But beyond the money, the 1999 Liberty dime carries immense historical significance. It was minted at the very end of the 20th century, just before the turn of the millennium, a time filled with anticipation, change, and technological evolution. In many ways, this coin represents the bridge between the old and the new, between centuries of coinage tradition and the digital age of money we live in today. Holding a 1999 dime is like holding a piece of that turning point in history, a reminder of how everyday objects are silent witnesses to the lives, hopes, and fears of an entire nation at a particular moment in time. Collectors are also fascinated by the design details of the Roosevelt dime. John R. Sinek's portrait of Roosevelt captures the strength and determination of the man who led America through the Great Depression and most of World War II. The reverse, with its torch, olive branch, and oak branch, represents freedom, peace, and strength, the very ideals that define the American spirit. Every curve, every line, every inscription on the dime reflects this symbolism, and when a coin survives in perfect condition, those details shine with unmatched brilliance. It is no wonder then that collectors are willing to pay fortunes for a flawless or unique example. Another factor that adds to the myth of the 1999 Liberty dime is the sheer unpredictability of where such coins are found. Stories circulate of rare coins being discovered in old jars of change, tucked away in drawers, hidden in piggy banks, or even handed out as everyday change without anyone realizing their true worth. Imagine buying a cup of coffee with a dime that could actually be worth $78 million. This possibility excites the imagination and keeps people searching through their coins, hoping to stumble upon one of these elusive treasures. We should also consider the broader context of coin collecting as a hobby and an investment. Numismatics is not just about accumulating metal discs, it is about preserving history, appreciating art, and understanding economics. Coins tell the story of nations, of leaders, of wars and peace, of cultural values and technological progress. The 1999 Liberty dime is a perfect example of this because it is more than just currency. It is an artifact that embodies America's ideals of liberty and strength at a pivotal moment in history. Now, let us talk about the market dynamics that push such coins to astronomical values. The rare coin market operates on supply and demand, but unlike everyday goods, supply in this case is often limited to a single coin or a handful of specimens. That means demand can easily outstrip supply, leading to sky-high prices. Wealthy collectors see these coins not just as hobbies but as safe haven investments, much like fine art or rare gemstones. Owning the rarest dime in existence is not just about bragging rights, it is also about holding an asset that grows in value over time and can be passed down as a family treasure for generations. The idea that a dime could be worth $78 million may sound unbelievable to many, but it reflects the incredible diversity of human interests and the value we place on rarity, history, and beauty. While most of us see coins as small change, collectors see them as portals into history, as objects that carry stories from the past into the present. Every scratch, every detail, every mint mark has meaning, and in the case of the 1999 Liberty dime, those meanings align to create something truly extraordinary. My dear coin collectors, now let's go to a second story that will take you deep into the heart of American numismatics, A story about a coin that most people have seen, spent, or carried in their pockets without ever realizing that some of these little pieces of metal can hold secrets of unimaginable wealth. We are going to talk about the Liberty dime from 2002 with the Philadelphia Mint mark, known as the 2002p dime. On the surface, it is a simple coin with a face value of just 10 cents. But beneath that small denomination lies a hidden world of history, artistry, rarity, and financial power. In the rarest cases, this very coin has been valued at $70 million, making it one of the most astonishing and valuable modern American coins ever to exist. This story is not just about money, it is about liberty, heritage, and the incredible journey of a coin that went from an ordinary piece of change to a priceless treasure. To understand why the 2002p Liberty dime can reach such a staggering value, we must first step back and look at the history of the American dime itself. The dime has been a part of U.S. coinage since 1796, when the first draped bust dimes were issued. Through the centuries, the dime has evolved through several iconic designs: the seated Liberty dime that reflected 19th century ideals, the Barber dime that carried a classical design for the turn of the 20th century, the Mercury dime that symbolized liberty and progress during the early 1900s, and finally the Roosevelt dime, introduced in 1946 to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. By the year 2002, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for more than half a century, becoming one of the most familiar coins in America. The obverse carried the portrait of Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek, while the reverse displayed a powerful trio of symbols: the torch of liberty in the center, flanked by the olive branch of peace and the oak branch of strength and independence. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the letter P, has long been one of the most important coin-producing facilities in the United States. In 2002, millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes poured out of its presses to serve in everyday commerce. These coins were made from a clad composition, with a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel, giving them their silver-like appearance. For the average American, these coins were simply change used to buy coffee, pay for parking, or toss into a piggy bank. But for collectors, a small number of 2002p dimes stand out as something extraordinary, coins that defy expectations either because of their rarity, their minting errors, or their survival in flawless condition. It is this combination of rarity and perfection that can push a coin's value into the tens of millions of dollars. Why would a coin minted in such large numbers suddenly be worth $70 million? The answer lies in a perfect storm of numismatic factors. One of the most significant is rarity in error. When billions of coins are struck, mistakes occasionally happen, but when they do, and the error is dramatic and unique, the resulting coin becomes one of a kind. Imagine a 2002p dime struck on the wrong planchet, such as a foreign coin blank, or even a cent blank. Imagine a double die obverse where Roosevelt's profile shows striking doubling in the date, or the inscriptions. Or imagine an off-center strike where the design is misaligned, leaving wide blank areas on the coin. Each of these mistakes transforms an ordinary dime into a treasure because the U.S. Mint is meticulous, and such errors almost never escape into circulation. The rarity of these error coins creates a demand that drives their value through the roof. Then there is the condition of the coin. Numismatists grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with mint state 70 representing a coin that is flawless under magnification. A dime from 2002 in circulation will naturally show scratches, wear, and tear from daily use. But a coin that has been carefully preserved since the moment it was struck, stored in protective holders away from damage, and maintaining its original mint luster, can reach the highest possible grade. For collectors, finding a 2002p dime in such a condition is like discovering a diamond in the rough, and such perfection can command astronomical prices. Combine a flawless grade with an error or unique striking, and the result is a coin so rare and desirable that collectors with vast fortunes are willing to pay anything to acquire it. The $70 million valuation of certain 2002p Liberty dimes also reflects the psychology of high-end collecting. Rare coins are not just about the metal they are made from, they are symbols of history, status, and exclusivity. When only one or two examples exist, owning one makes the collector part of a very exclusive club. Wealthy collectors often compete fiercely at auction, driving prices higher and higher. What begins as a bidding war can quickly escalate into record-breaking prices, and that is how a dime, originally worth 10 cents, can rise to be worth more than priceless works of art, luxury yachts, or private islands. It is also important to see the historical context of the year 2002. America was entering the new millennium, adjusting to rapid technological changes, facing challenges and transitions in global politics, and continuing its traditions of liberty and resilience. Every coin minted in that year carries a reflection of that time, and the Roosevelt dime, with its symbols of freedom, peace, and strength, represents the enduring values of the United States. The Philadelphia Mint struck countless coins that year, but among them, a few have emerged as powerful reminders of how history and chance can converge to create treasures beyond imagination. The design of the Roosevelt dime also adds to its significance. Franklin Roosevelt is remembered not just as a president, but as a leader who helped guide America through some of its darkest times, including the Great Depression and World War II. His portrait on the dime honors his legacy and his association with the March of Dimes campaign, which helped fight polio. The reverse design, with the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, perfectly captures the essence of liberty, peace, and strength. These elements combine to make the dime not only a piece of currency but also a piece of national identity and pride. Stories of incredible finds add to the magic of coins like the 2002p Liberty dime. There are countless tales of collectors or even ordinary people stumbling upon rare coins in everyday places, like jars of change, old piggy banks, or tucked away in forgotten drawers. Imagine the shock of discovering that a simple dime sitting in your pocket is actually worth $70 million. Such stories inspire treasure hunters everywhere to keep looking at their coins more carefully, fueling the excitement and mystery of numismatics. The market for rare coins like this is global, attracting collectors from every corner of the world. For many, coins are not just investments but pieces of history that can be held in the palm of the hand. They connect us to past generations, to the ideals of liberty and democracy, and to the artistry of engravers who crafted designs meant to stand the test of time. A coin like the 2002p Liberty dime, in its rarest and most valuable form, is more than money. It is history, art, rarity, and wealth fused together into one small but powerful object. When we think about $70 million, we usually picture skyscrapers, supercars, priceless paintings, or palaces. But the fact that a dime can reach this level of value is a reminder of how powerful human imagination and desire can be. Value is not only about size or weight, it is about rarity, beauty, history, and the stories attached to the object. The 2002p Liberty dime carries all of these qualities, and that is why it commands such extraordinary respect in the world of numismatics. So the next time you receive change, take a close look at every dime that passes through your hands, especially those from 2002 with a Philadelphia Mint mark. You never know when you might be holding something far beyond its face value. Hidden among billions of ordinary coins may be a piece of history worth more than entire fortunes. The story of the 2002p Liberty dime reminds us that treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those who have the curiosity and knowledge to recognize them.